welcome back to Charmaine's Kitchen. A pleasant good evening to each and every one of you. If you're visiting my channel for the first time, I would like to welcome you to my channel. Today is a very wet and damp day in Canada, and I'm in the mood for some fish stew. So I'm going to be making some Bangamary stew and some boil and fry half-fried plantain and cassava. I don't know what you guys are in the mood for, but if you want to see what I'm preparing today, come on down and let's get started. I have 3 nice size of Bangamary. I just washed them and scaled them out. Now I'm gonna cut them up into nice size pieces, and we will start seasoning these beautiful fish to fry. Now that I have the fish cut up, I'm gonna start seasoning the fish. Salt is a must. We want some black pepper on these babies. A nice good portion. Now we're gonna add some green seasoning. And this green seasoning have garlic, green onions, thyme, broadleaf and fine leaf, and some very flavorful Marinate pepper. I'm gonna mix this up into the fish and we will start frying them. Look how beautiful the fish is seasoned. I'm gonna leave it to marinate for a few minutes and then we will come back to it. So while our fish is marinating, I have 3 nice ripe plantains. I'm gonna peel this, and when they're ripe, it's so easy to peel. We're gonna peel this first because it's not messy like the cassava. And then what I usually do is just put a line from top to bottom and then lift it backwards, and you just pull it right off like that. So this is how easy it is. Right off. Everything will come off clean like that. So the plantain is very easy to peel. And when I'm making boil and fry, I should show one how I'm cutting. I just cut them into small pieces like that. And then I'm gonna cut it back like this. You can cut yours any size that you wish. It doesn't matter. But I find when I cut it this small, it's easier to cook, and ripe plantain cook faster than the cassava and green plantain. So the next thing we're gonna move on to is the cassava. And you wanna make sure that the cassava is nice and white like this. If it have any bluish, blackish spot, then they're not good. So I wanna show quickly how easy this cassava is to peel. And this is a root vegetable. So I just make like a little cut, and then you pull it backwards like that until you come to the other end, and that's how easy this is to peel. Look at that. This is the skin. And Jessica, wait, I usually cut mine in 2 and then take out this little vein that I have inside, because it's not edible. So that's how I peel my cassava. It's very easy to peel. So my water is hot. I just added a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. I washed the cassava and I'm gonna add them to the water to cook before the ripe plantain, because we don't want the plantain to get too mushy. So the cassava takes a little bit more time. So that's why I'm gonna cook this first. So I'm gonna let this cook, and then in the meantime I'll go into my garden to pick some fresh seasoning to prepare our boil and fry and our stew fish. We will need some fresh green onions. So I'm gonna start with this. Next I'm gonna pick some fresh flat leaf parsley to add to the stew, because this gives a very, very nice flavor. Some same here that I'm gonna have to pick soon. And I have some more here that I'll have to pick, and in here as well. I didn't clean up my garden yet because it's still going nice and healthy. I have a lot of peppers in here, so I feel bad to clean up the garden while it's still producing. I'm gonna also be picking some fine thyme because this goes very, very nice with the stew as well. Beautiful, my garden is still looking. The peppers still flourishing, the kale, and all the rest of the plants are still really, really flourishing. I have to bring this plant indoor, my married man pork, because I don't want it to die in the cold weather. The squash is trying to take over everything in my garden, and my aloe, everything. There is still 2 cucumbers on the vine, so I'm leaving my cucumber to go a little bit more before I harvest it. This is what I love about planting a garden. You can always run out in your garden and you can harvest all the ingredients you need. I have green onions, flat leaf parsley, fine thyme, and I didn't came for pepper, but I see some ripe one and I picked those as well. I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna pick a few broadleaf thyme. I'm gonna continue with our fish stew and our boil and fry provision. So this is what's going on with our cassava. It's boiling up here like crazy. So here I have a few ingredients for our boil and fry provision today. I have some fresh green onions from the garden. I have some fresh cilantro. I really love this in my boil and fry. I have 2 small onions. I'm gonna try this yellow pepper from my friend Kavita. I really would like to get a taste of what this flavor is. And I have a clove of garlic. So here is our seasoning, nice and finely chopped and all smelling so nice in my kitchen. So our cassava has been cooking up for a while now. I'm just gonna take a fork and I'm gonna test it, and it went right through. So I'm gonna take these out and I'll add the sweet plantain in here to cook, because we want to make sure that they both cook perfectly and nice and soft. I just added the ripe plantain to the hot boiling water. We're gonna cook them until they're nice and soft and tender. So the fish has been marinating for more than an hour now. I'm gonna start lightly dust the fish in some seasoned flour I have here. And then I will fry them until they're nice and golden brown on each side. So dusting the flour once in a while I do on this parchment paper, because it's an easy cleanup after, no mess at all. And I'm talking too quickly, I really splatter some flour up. And then I'm just gonna shake out all the excess flour like that before I start frying them. So I just flipped the fish on the other side, and I'm just frying a few pieces at the same time. I don't want to crowd the oil too much. This first batch will be done soon, and I'm gonna start frying the second batch. I just love, you guys know how much I love fried fish with pepper sauce and ketchup. I believe I'm gonna save myself a piece for that. So in the pot, I like to fry my provision with some butter. I'm gonna grate 1 nice big clove of garlic into the butter. And this will give the provision and very nice flavor. The garlic butter flavor helps it Get my garlic out. And then we're gonna add the rest of our ingredients. We're gonna mix our garlic in the butter. And I'm gonna add here now some of our ingredients. I'm gonna go in with the onion, pepper. Let me raise back the stove, and some green onions. I just like to cook this about 2 minutes so we can still have freshness on the ingredients, not to cook it too much. I like to see the onions, and I like to see all the greenery in my provision. And I'm gonna add a little bit of tomato paste, because that will give our cassava a nice color instead of that white looking color. So we're gonna add a little bit of tomato paste. This is optional. This is just because I wanna highlight those cassava in a nice color, but you can leave that step out. I'm gonna mix it in properly. And we're gonna add the cassava first. We're gonna add some salt. Just a little bit, not too much. We're gonna add some black pepper in here. And then I'm gonna add my plantains. Let me just mix this up a little. Look how nice this is already. Our plantain is sweet and it's soft, so we want to add it right at the end. In goes our sweet plantain, and my daughters will be very happy because they love boil and fry sweet plantain and cassava. I'm gonna add my cilantro now, and then we will mix this again. And this is ready. So this is how our boil and fry sweet plantain and cassava looks. Very delicious, and is ready for our stew fish. So I'm gonna finish off with the stew fish now, and this is our dinner is gonna be ready soon. So now I'm preparing our fresh seasoning for the stew fish. I have here the fresh green onion that I just picked from my garden. I have 1.5 of small onions. I have 2 cloves of garlic. I have this really nice flavored yellow pepper. I'm testing it out for the first time. It smells really good in the kitchen. I have some fine thyme, and this is a must for stew. I have some flat leaf parsley, and I have some broad leaf or thick leaf thyme. I just added my onions to the pan with about 1.5 teaspoons of oil. I'm gonna let my onion cook for about 2 minutes or so until it's nice and translucent before I add the other ingredients. Now we're gonna be adding the green onions, the broadleaf thyme, our flat leaf parsley, and pepper into the oil. And this is a lot of fresh ingredients. We're gonna mix this in. We want those flavors to infuse well into the oil. And now we're gonna add some tomato paste. 1, 2, 3 heaping teaspoons of tomato paste for our stew. We're gonna cook that ingredient along with the tomato paste. So we're gonna add some Chinese spice, or 5 spice can work as well, and this would enhance our stew and give it a nice flavor. Just about a half a teaspoon will do a nice job for us. We're gonna mix this in, and I want to go in with some water now. On the other side of the stove, I have some water warming up. I'm gonna add some water into here. And then now I'm gonna start flavoring up this liquid. So we're gonna go in with some grated garlic. And I have my 2 cloves of garlic. So we can really have a nice flavor in the liquid. I'm gonna mix in that garlic that we just grated in here. And I'm gonna start adding my salt at this point. We just need about a teaspoon of salt because the fish already have salt. We're gonna add some black pepper. And then we're gonna go in with our fresh thyme. I like to add the leaves in at this point. You can add the stem as well. If a few stems just drop into the stew, that's fine. It is rich in flavor. So I'm gonna try to get out those little leaves. And it's smelling really delicious. I do not add sugar to my stew, but you can add sugar if you like. We will mix this in, and I'm gonna go in with a pack of Sazon powder, the Goya Sazon powder, because this is gonna add some flavor and it's gonna add a nice color to the stew. So right away you can see this nice color. We're gonna let this cook for about 4 minutes on medium heat, medium to low, before we add the fish into the liquid. And we're gonna soon have a beautiful and delicious fish stew to go with our boiled and fried cassava and ripe plantain. So while we're waiting for dinner to be finished, look what I have here, guys. Look at the size of this. This is a huge big guava. I'm gonna cut it up with some salt and pepper, and we're gonna have that while we're waiting for dinner. Let me know in the comment, when was the last time you had some guava and salt and pepper. Look at what I have here. Oh my goodness, I am drooling. Let me know if you guys had this lately, or if you feel like you're drooling right now, but I can't resist. Just a quick snack before dinner is done. Just wanted to share with you guys. This is something that I would snack regularly when I'm back home. Some guava with nice salt and pepper, and some nice half-ripe mangoes with salt and pepper. So let me go dig in on this, and I'll catch you guys later. Let's check on our stew gravy, and it is cooking up nicely. I'm gonna mix that in. We don't want too much liquid, just a little bit for our provision. I'm gonna add the fish. I'm putting it on low heat, and I'm gonna start adding the fish back to the sauce. So carefully, I will add the fish and leave it to simmer for a few minutes until the fish gets some of this flavor from this nice, delicious gravy that we have in here. And I'm gonna save myself a piece of the fish to eat with pepper sauce because my husband already took his piece. And I'm waiting here to have my piece of fried fish. I love fried fish with pepper sauce. So I'm trying to fit in everything in here. I'm gonna cover it back, leave it for another 2 minutes on very low heat, and then this will be ready for dinner. So my stew fish or fish stew is done cooking. Look how delicious looking this is. I'm taking it down with some gravy because whatever left back tonight from the provision, I'm gonna eat some with rice tomorrow. And for all my friends who prefer this with rice, I have rice for you, but it really goes nice with the provision. I'm just gonna garnish with some cilantro, and we will head on down for dinner table. So here it is, our fish stew or stew fish bangameri is done. I'm gonna drizzle some cilantro on top, and this is looking amazing. We have our boil and fry provision on the side. Before I do my taste test, I have a success story to share. Our friend Andrea Martins, his wife, made my bhaji rice, and she made one of my stewed chicken with a twist dish, and they sent me pictures of their success story, and they were very happy with the dish. This makes me very happy as well to know people are following my recipe and they're very happy about it. So right after this, we'll see Andrea Martin's success story. So here it is, my beautiful friends, our boil and fry cassava, sweet plantain, and my stew bangameri to go with it. I have my cup of tea because when I eat provision, I need something warm to wash everything down. And I can't make fried fish without having a piece with pepper and ketchup. And I know a lot of you will agree with me on that one. So, bangameri, beautiful and nice. I'm gonna take my first mouthful for all my viewers and all my subscribers. Cheers. Always a very nice thing to do, for me at least, to have a piece of fried fish with pepper and ketchup is so satisfying. So I'm gonna have this after I taste for you guys because I don't want to keep you guys waiting. So I'm gonna go in for a piece of the cassava, and I just want to show how nice and soft this is cooked. It goes right in like that. I didn't even have to put pressure. And I'm gonna make sure that I get enough of this juice here to eat with that piece of cassava. And to all my viewers and all my subscribers, this is your mouthful. So delicious. For my vegetarian friends, you can have the provision without the fish, and it's very satisfying as well. If you don't like cassava, you can always leave that provision out, and you can add something else. Sweet potato or eddos also goes nice with this dish. I really love the cassava when it have all this gravy to go with it. That's my second bite. And my kids love the sweet plantain. And I'm gonna go in with a piece of the sweet plantain for you guys as well. What a nice way to end your Sunday afternoon. I'm gonna go in for a piece of the fish. And look guys, how nicely done that is. Once the fish is fried, you don't have to leave it too long into the sauce. I'm trying to get out that middle bone here. And this is one delicious meal and very filling. The fish is perfectly seasoned and all that niceness just went right through the fish. It is such a satisfying dish. So let me know in the comment when was the last time you had boil and fry provision. I know it goes well with fish curry as well. But if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will consider subscribing. I love you guys. Stay blessed, stay safe. Bye for now.